Welcome on into another Pick Your Poison tournament cast. The event is organized by Daniela, Komi, and their guys, so huge shout out to them again as always for putting on this great show. And we're spectating a live game today. Hello there in chat, Beige, great to see you. And we're actually gonna get a live spectate going here. I've already got the game open, just showing you the draft real quick, and then we'll jump right in. Game 1 is on Golden Swamp, so that is gonna be great. We've got Lithuanians against Incans. So let's look at the game then, shall we? Here we go. Let's get on the way. Oops. I don't want to skip ahead, actually. We'll be working with that little bit of delay. Should be fine. So, for this matchup, let me set up these seeds as well. We've got the 14th seed in DmBent against the 3rd seed of the group in Quetipps, which is pretty tough matchup, I would suppose, for our underdog here, playing as the Lithuanians, but I think they got a pretty decent civ for this map right here, at least. Back in the day, I think they used to be pretty good on this one, so I don't think they're going to be too mad about that. But Quetipps on the other side, of course, with the Incans as well, that's one of my favorites, and you saw me dominate with that civ as well on this map, so probably not too mad about this either. And actually, let me get a prediction going in chat, in case people want to bet a little bit. On game 1, so we've got DmBent Lithuanians versus Quetipps on the Incans. Let me see, how long do we want this to be? I'll give you guys 5 minutes, why not? So there we go, nice prediction on the way. But let's not lose any more time. I'll quickly pull up the civ details on screen here, so if anybody isn't familiar with the bonuses, you can check them out right here. Lithuanians, starting with the extra food, has always made them pretty popular civ on water or hybrid maps. Of course, they have this very interesting relic bonus that they're knights, and also their ladies, unique units, get extra attack from gathering relics, and with the relics being pretty close to their base, at least 2 of them, that looks like a pretty decent start, right? Can't complain about that. Also, this middle one, potentially not that far away. So, yeah, that's the Lithuanians right there. A few other bonuses as well, notably the quicker moving trash units, but let's swing on over to the Incas now. Again, that's one of my favorite civs right now. I love to play as them, I love to watch them as well. They're an infantry civilization, but they offer so much more than that. They have fully upgradable arbalests, they have slingers, which are pretty much hand cannoneers for meso civs, but, well, just for them, I guess. And, yeah, they also have these Kamayuk, which are such a unique unit, basically step lancers, but in infantry, a variant of that. So they are just a great civ overall. Starting with the free llama also makes you build pretty smooth. Extra pop space on those houses makes you save a decent amount of wood early on as well, so could be considered a relevant bonus for this map too. Well, let's see. We've got a pretty clear favorite in this matchup, and I think the Incas are really good on the map. So if I were a betting man, I might wager a Quetipps victory here, but we'll see if DmBent has any tricks up his sleeve. Of course, this is the neutral map of this series, in case you guys aren't familiar. Whoever loses this match will get to play on their home map next. I wonder why Quetipps... Oh, that looked weird. He might have been able to kill that scout, but instead ungarrisoned, but didn't even put the villagers back to work, so that must have been a weird little... yeah, maybe a warm-up game for the Inca player here. Nothing to worry about, but just a small inefficiency there is what I would call this. Both players on 18 villages right now with minimal idle TC times, I would say. This is bracket A, remember, so we're in a range of 1k to just south of 1200 elo, I would assume. So far, though, nothing out of the ordinary, I would say. Alright, so big takeaway from that is DmBent managing to hold on to their scout. Good news for them. Looks like Quetipps was actually scouting a little bit with their water buffalo, and then just kind of left them there. Let's hope it doesn't get lamed or taken away. Quetipps actually lost their scout. My apologies, I missed whenever that happened. But that eagle scout, yeah, no longer on this map, so must have been taken out. We can see the KD is 0-1, so maybe they tried to go for lame and failed. I don't know, sadly didn't catch wherever that eagle scout was lost. Maybe they deleted it? I don't even know. Yeah, maybe should have paid a little closer attention to start this one off. I don't know. Whatever way it is, we're approaching a feudal age territory here, at least for the Lithuanians. You can see maybe that's the starting food bonus paying off here for them. They're already well on their way, whereas Quetipps is only now researching loom and then presumably clicking up to feudal age right after that. Currently, yeah, there's 400 food within those, or is that in the buffalo? No, I think it was 400 food in those villagers' hands, so now able to click up as well, but that's going to be a bit more than a minute late on the feudal age compared to their opponent. It's going to be good news for our underdog here, who is very open at home, so that's pretty risky play against the Incans. They tend to be very aggressive early on, so surprising lack of walling here for my liking, and the clear difference here is also the fishing, of course, right? The extra fishing economy is super strong already, 4 fishing ships out. The Inca now on their way to feudal age, but still with no dock up at all, and not that common actually for our higher seeded player to go for well, a little bit of a more, I don't even know what I would call this, right? It's just less meta, I guess, at least as far as I'm concerned. Yep, that loom paying off now for the Inca, able to save the villager without any troubles. And Lithuanians here with the early uptime, I'm curious to see what they will opt for. It doesn't look like they're gonna go for any scout action or anything of that sort, just the fire galleys from the dock to manage to hopefully hold on to that water lead. I would have liked to see them have their scout forward in order to scout out any enemy docks that could come out. So knowing that there's 0 docks, they might not actually be producing this second fire galley. So they could have saved themselves some rest with a little bit better scouting with their scout. Let's see if they've already found a bunch of these relics, or just barely haven't seen this one yet. But of course, the other 3 there that are quite close to the center of the map as well, they've already spotted. So that's going to be the midterm objective, I would say, for the Lithuanians, whereas the Incans are clearly going up to castle age without any military units. So that's why they, of course, didn't make any docks. They just walled up, stayed behind, and are now going up to castle age. And honestly, that is going to pay off massively for them. Just because you see over here, for DmBent, he's not walled up, he doesn't have any military, and he's now getting eco upgrades. But if you just want to get ahead in eco and boom, getting up to castle age is much more efficient than grabbing feudal age eco upgrades. So that is going to pay off for the Inca, I'm sure. Although they are currently behind by 5 eco units, just because those fishing ships are very efficient at boosting that early game economy. So typically that tends to pay off very quickly if you're able to sustain a nice fish gathering for a while at least, right? On this map it is very common to give up the water after some time. Don't have to protect it, but already decent value. And let's check what the eco differential is so far in terms of resources collected. We've got the 300 to 400 advantage for DmBent. It's mainly the fishing ship, I would argue. Well, now let's see what the Inca are about to do with their castle age. They're currently sitting on just that 1 barracks here. No other military production buildings, no military upgrades either, but I'm curious. I mean, I'm expecting spearmen first and foremost, and town centers. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing here. one town center, but I'm also expecting a second one here very soon, since the food is, or the wood rather, is almost there. Now with those 3 town centers, you now need to pick up some food as well. You need, well, a bunch of farms really if you don't have any fishing ships, and with that wood count, it would look as though those Incan town centers are not going to be producing villagers for that long. The Eagle Scout production is also very curious for me. Eagle Scouts are good against enemy monks, so if you want to deny the relics from the enemy and snipe their monks, the Eagles are good at doing that. However, if the enemy is making light cav or knights or anything of that sort, you really don't want to be having Castle Age Eagle Scouts on the map to deal with that. Even if they're Eagle Warriors, even if you upgrade them, not great against cavalry. I would have liked to see some spearmen first, maybe. As the fire ships are even able to take both of those out. Man, that's not the investment that Quetipps was looking for here. And if I'm DmBent here as the underdog, I'm feeling pretty good. I got that free fishing economy going. I got a little bit of an overinvestment, actually. It's 4 demo ships. I'm not sure that's the actual correct play. But I'm pretty safe at home so far, and I'm going to be able to take out another Eagle Scout for free here. Quetipps really got to shore up on his micro here. Well, just attention on his units, I would say. You don't have a lot of units to start out with, so it's really important to make good use of them. And so far, can't say that he has reflected that seeding advantage with his gameplay. And now getting pressured at home a little bit as well. The barracks on the fire. Second dock coming out more forward for the Lithuanians. Would like to see more expansion from them. They're still sitting on 1 town center, and that is dangerous. Quetipps now taking the equally just because that triple town center is very potent. They're lacking a lot of farms still, but that is going to catch up soon. And DmBent about to hit Castle Age. I'm gonna need to see those town centers too as well. I mean, one in the middle could be good, and then another one maybe on the wood line somewhere. That's what I would advocate for here. Over here is a beautiful spot. Over here, I would love that one behind the goal. Let's see if he even has vision of that. He has, so that's what I would like to see there. Wow. I didn't see exactly where that was, but the Inca Eagle Scouts are dead yet again. 0 military upgrades still, and Quetipps is simply occupied with balancing his eco right now, trying to get all those town centers to work actually, and it's not the cleanest build here, really isn't. Was a good fast castle, but then ran out of steam quickly with resources, and DmBent has been given the entire map. Would like to see the monastery come out, which we have seen, of course, and I want to see monks come out immediately to try and take those relics, because the Incas, you're so fortunate. You are so rarely going to see an Inca player be this passive and give the entire map to you in Castle Age. So you need to strike while the iron's hot, while the Incans are not doing anything to pressure you. You need to pick up as many relics as possible, and I want to see at least 3 of these relics go over. 4 is very much on the board though. This one up here you're not likely to get, but you only need 4 anyways for the maximum value of your bonus, and that is in the cards for this one. It wouldn't shock me if DmBent was able to secure 4. He's gonna need a contingency plan though, because you can't simply go Lattice and Knights against a Civ that has Kamayuk and Halberdier available, so we'll see if DmBent can devise it for his army. So far, that's not gonna be his main worry though, because neither player has any army in the field, and it's actually monks which the Incas are pivoting to now. I don't hate that, because that of course enables them to pick up a few relics themselves and also play against the potential enemy knights that you would be expecting in Castle Age right here. So, not a bad choice per se. Man, DmBent really not looking bad so far. Oh, the monk's actually going to convert the higher HP fire ship. Great pickup there. He converts one, kills the other. That was very efficient. I didn't even realize, but of course that was a good choice. And now the demo ships are going to be used to take care of the enemy fire, but it wasn't quite enough. It's 1 tanky ship and 2 demo ships. Oh, that is a huge investment for DmBent just to take out the 1 ship that got converted. Oh, you don't like to see that if you're if you're the Lithuanians. And now the spearmen here are starting to be produced out of the barracks. Again, I don't hate that choice, but those relics are going to start to be picked up. I don't like this monk just chilling there. Really, that is a huge blunder. You need to make this your #1 priority right now. You need to take advantage of the map control. And DmBent is kind of dropping the ball a little bit, getting their units converted, so they're not really paying attention to micro at front, but they're also not moving their monks. Finally, one is moving back, but giving over this relic over here was absolutely avoidable. So, really, we gotta step up the attention a little bit. I think he's now going to see the monk carrying back the relic. He is, okay, so he's now well aware, but is he gonna lose another galley, just barely able to get the galleon out of harm's way? He's seen that relic being carried back home, actually, and now able to take out that monk, but loses the galleon in return. And another conversion comes in, as the relic is going to be safely brought home to the Incan lands. Okay, so that's a very interesting game here. Very little military on the map. We've got navy on the one side against monks on the other side. Castle going to be produced here. Quetipps puts it up right next to his town center just to be able to add some navy, presumably. Loses that monk though, doesn't get the conversion, and finally that galleon's also going to go down. Now, the next relic is just waiting to be picked up. I would have loved to see double monk, definitely. DmBent floating a ton of gold. That's literally just 1,000 gold sitting there. Could have definitely afforded to make 3 or 4 monks and pick all of these relics up separately. And he kind of took the map control for granted, but fair enough. He is still holding on to it for now. Now using that market to balance the eco a bit better, I guess. And on that 4th TC in the middle here, it's going to keep on expanding. What's going to be the plan for the Inca here? They have a very inefficient gold mine going here where everybody cannot work at the same time. Is that his last gold that he's got in his walls? Is it? No, it's not, of course. He's got some more down here. So he needs to make another mining camp down there, definitely. Wonder why that's not happened a while ago. But of course there's a lot going on, and it's easy for me to say that with the bird's eye view. So, yeah, no hate, of course. Man, the castle even going up in the middle as well. Again, those are a little curious castles for me always. Why are we putting them up in the exact middle of the island? If you put them on the edge, there's a lot. You have a lot more water control with that. So that's what I would typically like to see. The monks out for the Inca now, but since they lost their Eagle Scouts super early, they actually weren't able to scout all the relics, were they? Oh no, look at this. They have no vision at all in the air. This must have been a failed lane, since they were not able to even spot those relics. And well, they've even done a favor here to the Lithuanians, carrying that relic a little bit closer to DmBent's base, funnily enough. That monk going north here, nice try finding some relics, but you can really see the early scouting disadvantage coming to bite Quetipps here. I love eagles as well, but they're not the ideal unit to go into if you're playing against Lithuanians who are expected to make a lot of cavalry units. Maybe it's just because you're expecting monks, but honestly, that's not ideal here. I don't think, at least. 12 eagles still in the queue. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. If the opponent is just making knights here, which for some reason Bent is making light cavalry instead of knights. You've got 2,000 gold. If only DmBent was making knights right now, this would be a huge issue for Quetipps, who's already struggling to keep the villagers safe from these light cavalry raids. But 0 military upgrades and an interesting unit composition, to say the least, is kind of costing DmBent a lot here. And the Incas are now in turn actually pushing forward and looking to raid with their Eagle Warriors, who are much better upgraded. And Quetipps on the way to Imp here. Man, DmBent, don't tell me you're dropping the ball here. You did so good so far. How many relics? That's 2 relics only. Okay, so definitely could have done better in that regard. But need to have something here. available to defend against those Eagle Warriors, and Knights would just be the obvious answer to me. I can't believe there's no Knights coming out yet, although this light cavalry raid is pretty effective, and only now do the Incans realize this. You can just kill those light cavalry, by the way. I see this so often, but if you're Incans, you can just kill light cavalry raids with your villagers. You have the blacksmith upgrades affect the villagers too. You can just turn around and kill them if they ever try to raid your eco with that little units. And now he's kind of scrambling to put houses behind his house wall. Even the stone wall coming out as well for Bent. It's looking like maybe Quetipps is kind of proving his class here and sort of out-muscling Bent a little bit here, because he's just able to do a little more tasks at the same time, it feels like. Whereas the Lithuanians, they've stagnated here quite a bit. The Eagles are getting closer and closer, destroying a few houses, making it so Bent really needs to put up some more walls, otherwise the raids are going to start coming in hot. Now even a castle being put up here. Castles are not the best against the Eagle Warriors. They really don't fare that well. Eagles are quick and they have a lot of pierce armor, so they can deal with castles quite well. And Quetipps now full steam ahead in Imp here. Conscription being researched, Blast Furnace even. Man, I'm starting to fear actually for Bent. And that being said, the Eagles break in from the south and the east. How did he not put another layer of walls behind that? Man, he's losing a lot of villagers here. And he's going to need to garrison all of them, because even after the castle goes up, the Eagles can simply go another place and continue raiding there. Oh, it's such a stressful situation here. Big props to Quetipps for being able to put up a raid here while being sort of pressured at home, but it wasn't enough here. And underneath all of his town centers, DmBent is now being raided by Eagle Warriors. A little bit too careless with the walling and simply the wrong army composition. This is the first Lithuanian player I've seen that builds 2 little knights. It really is, man. Oh, this poor guy, I can really feel for him, because he had such a nice game plan, he was given all the control over the map. He just kind of missed, he missed the memo to start making military, really. When he did, it wasn't the right ones, and now he's lost a lot of villagers. At this point, this doesn't really look recoverable anymore. Down to 50 villagers. The Eagles have absolutely taken everything at home for Bent, who's trying to, now finally with some knights, raid back, but it's way too late for that one. These little Eagle Warriors have 33 kills behind them, between them. 34 kills between these 6 units. You can only imagine how much more the rest took. That was an absolutely destructive raid, and the Eagles are owning the map everywhere. Traps coming out as well. Quetipps has turned this game around within mere minutes, and is looking to go 1-0 up in the series with 2.5 the size of Eco right now, and it doesn't matter at this point. At this point you can fight Knights with your Eagle Warriors. This is the Incan dream here in the late game. Fully upgraded Eagles, at least close to it. Not sure he's got the Fabric Shields upgrade already, or Arson. Oh, I didn't quite track that, but at this point you're not too worried about that. He's taken everything. He's taken the ships, the traps, the villages, the buildings as well, probably next. And that's it. Bent calls it. Series 1-0 up for Quetipps. Huge shout out. He turned that game on its head super quick. Man. Alright. So I'll resolve the prediction here. I will just send the next link for the next game. So we've got Quetipps winning this one, sadly. No payouts here. The only person voted for Bent, it seemed. Believing in the underdog, I respect it, but we're gonna have to transition to the next map, which is gonna be Bent's home map, Arabia, and that's gonna be Italians versus Teutons. Looking forward to that one. This was already a really good matchup, though, that I enjoyed seeing. Let's get into the next one as soon as possible, though. because this was a great first game. It looked like Bent might actually be able to do it, but then sadly kind of just stalled out a bit too long. Meanwhile, I can see what chat's up to here a little bit. The priority of the middle is quite interesting. You're absolutely right. And the Incans didn't have that much gold left anymore, so they definitely were gonna need that middle at some point soon. That's for sure. But it just worked out fine for them the way it was, I guess. Whoops, that's the wrong civs, isn't it? I think they got the wrong civs for this game. Yeah, I think they might have selected the wrong civs here from joining the spectator. But maybe they haven't launched yet. Maybe I'm just a noob. Alright. Yeah, I think we're all good. I think I was just looking at the wrong thing. Okay. So they're of course loading up the second game. There we go. Okay, so they're gonna launch right now, so we're gonna have the 2-minute spectator delay. I'm already in the lobby though, so it's been going much more smoothly today than the last time, which is perfect for us. And yeah, we're gonna get Arabia, Teutons versus Italians. That's gonna be a fun one, hopefully. I'll put up the next prediction, I guess. Let's see. Who wins game 2? We've got Italians, Quetipps versus Teutons. Oh, that's actually the wrong way around. It's Quetipps playing as the Teutons and Italians for DmBent. Yep, that's right. I'll give you guys another 5 minutes for the game 2 prediction. DmBent against Quetipps, Teutons versus Italians. That's gonna be it. Once we get in, you're not gonna miss a second, of course. But for now, of course, waiting for that spectator delay, as always. Alright, so far Quetipps definitely looking a bit more solid all around, but DmBent had an angle in this one, was definitely winnable. Did a good job taking control, a bit slow on the relics, a bit slow on the army mainly. Yeah, water plays is such a trap always. It's so difficult to know how much you need to invest into army on water, when to stop, how many fishing ships you even want. It is tricky, definitely. Early TC or castle in the middle is a trap. It kinda is. I mean, there is value gathering the neutral gold early, because of course the opponent can't then gather it, even if they're able to reclaim middle control later on. But still, I agree. Generally, you don't need to over prioritize it early. If you are given the control for free, though, I don't think there's a reason not to take it. So, yeah, that's just what I think there. Okay, let's get into the game, though. It is loaded up. So, we'll see if Quetipps can close it out with the Teutons here, who have received also a lot of love since the April patch. There we go. Into game 2. Quetipps Teutons, the 3rd seed of the bracket against DmBent on the Italians, 14th seed. Is a quite difficult matchup, I would say, for our underdog here in terms of elos. But maybe we can make something happen with the Italians. I don't know that this is typically a good matchup for the Italians. No, I wouldn't traditionally think so. But maybe he can surprise us, right? It is his home map. So I'm hoping for a big performance there from the underdog to bless us with a 3rd game. This time around, both players able to hold on to their scouts for a little bit longer. Oh, that's what I wanted to see. Oh, he just barely missed those sheep there, unfortunately for him. At least he's scouting with his own sheep. So, good job there. Not all low elo players are doing that, as we know. The other side, nothing out of the ordinary here as well. Looks like Quetipps might not have actually scouted with his sheep, at least not a lot. Either way, let's take a look at the Civ Bony, while there's still little action to talk about. Okay. Left side, we've got the Teutons here. Cheaper farms, really good. All throughout the game, valuable bonus. Yeah, pretty much obvious also what it does. A bunch of other smaller bonuses related to healing and garrisoning and stuff like that. Typically doesn't come into play that often, but of course what they are well known for, the Teutons, is the conversion resistance. And especially when you're going into knights or Teutonic knights, that can be pretty devastating bonus to have, since, you know, monks always a bit tricky with those conversion times, and Teutons that much more tenacious to try and convert. On the other side, let's check out the Italians too. We haven't seen them that often in the tournament so far. Now we've got the Genoese crossbows and the Condottiero as the unique units, so there's some versatility there, definitely, although I would describe the Genoese as rather situational unique unit. Reptag, I agree as well, by the way. I love the Teuton cheap farms. Maybe it's a bit of a noob bonus, like maybe if you're a pro and you balance your eco properly, that doesn't actually give you that much more. But generally, I agree that you, yeah, just having those cheaper farms, when you mismanage it slightly, maybe you need to put down a bunch of farms, but perhaps because you've got another TC that you suddenly need to supply with food. That's a very good bonus to have. Well, for the Italians, the advance costs being cheaper is pretty massive, helps all throughout the game. Cheaper university tax also makes it a pretty flexible civ in the late game, if that makes sense. The transitions are pretty, just a bit cheaper there. And the naval bonus, sadly, not going to be too advantageous here. Cheaper gunpowder stuff is pretty decent, I guess. I mean, against infantry civs, gunpowder can make some difference here, and the Teutons, one of the premier infantry civs, of course, could suffer from this. Yeah, alright. Let's take that down then and get into the actual game, shall we? Hope everybody got their predictions in. I didn't actually check. Everybody betting on Bent, rather, still. I like the optimism here. Nobody actually giving the Teutons here their vote. And early walling coming out for them, but pretty optimistic wall is what I would describe this as. Wow, is this scout actually going to get walled in? Man, This isn't happening, is it? Oh, he's pulling a second villager. He's actually doing it. Oh, you need to hit this one. Hit it. Hit it. Oh, really? Bent. No. Why are we losing a scout early like this every game? Well, it was Quetipps actually last game who lost their scout, but man, you hate to see this happen. Just parking the scout right next to the enemy's villagers is pretty negligent. Can't lie. I was gonna say this is pretty optimistic walling by the Teutons. If the enemy is going for any sort of early pressure, those walls are never going to be able to be closed off. Although it is pretty nice, nicely wallable between forests, stones here, and to the backside. It is a nice wallable map, but a bit too far away for it to actually work against any early feudal age aggression. That doesn't seem to be on Quetipps' mind though, as the Italians take a rather early 19 villager up, and the Teutons on the other side 22 wills. Still are going to be roughly at the same time though. Just about a minute of difference between the two uptimes here. And because Bent had a little bit of idle TC time. So again, it's not the smoothest early game for the Italians here. Cheaper advancement cost is of course helping him out there, but he's got that scout draft and he's on almost a minute of idle TC time already. I hope he can recover a little bit from this. Otherwise, we might be looking at a shorter type of series here. So, up to the next stage. What are we gonna see? It's a stable first and foremost. So, maybe just a general standard scout opening here. As Quetipps is trying to push this deer in from very far away. I'm not sure why we're taking them from all the way over here. Those couldn't possibly be the closest ones, right? Oh, we've got those ones right here. Let's see, does he have vision of them? Oh, he doesn't! Wow, okay, that's sad then. Okay, I see, I guess. As the palisade is about to break, I'm not sure if he's gonna try to repair that or not. But it looks like he's gonna lose out on it. Man, alright, it looks like he's just gonna let him break out for free. I guess that's a bit of relief for Bent. Still losing out on a lot of early scouting and being unable to push those deer also is a big detriment. Oh, looks like he might be able to actually take out the enemy scout again! Man, why is everybody just throwing away their scouts? No, please run. Come on! Okay, God bless. I wouldn't have survived that one. I wouldn't have been able to deal with that one if he got trapped again. He's got 2 more scouts forward though, so now let the party begin, Bent. Do some raiding here and get back into the series, because you're already on almost 2 minutes of idle town center time. You need to start making something happen. Go hit those villagers. Oh, they're super low HP! Why are they both so low HP? Are those the 2 luring villagers by chance? Oh, there's another low HP villagers. How did all those villagers drop so low on HP? Sadly not able to take them out, and the enemy scout comes in to try and trade back. That's a free scout kill though. Okay, overall the early trade's kinda decent for Bent. Although he's very open at home and it's like a haphazard type of wall here. So he might be vulnerable to attack as well. Has not made any more scouts other than those 2 that he's sent forward with his scouting scout. Nice trade here. Oh, sad. I was gonna say, if he's able to pull away before the spearman hits, that would have been great. But so he's just a 1-for-1 trade after all. And that kind of completely shuts down his potential of killing enemy villagers. With 2 scouts, you're not going to be getting villager kills. I don't think, at least. So that early scout rush not really doing the most damage here. Quetipps doing a decent job walling and keeping the villagers safe. It's not even necessary though, because that, again, as I said, those single scouts, they're not gonna take down any villagers anymore. And last survivor rides home to tell the tale. Man, a bit of a rough early game again for the Italians, I would say. 1 minute of idle TC time more than the opponent. 2 villagers behind right now. Only now transitioning to gold. It might be been looking a bit rough so far. Both of them with a few scouts, a few spearmen. Nothing major here in terms of army, so they're both taking a slower approach to this one. Maybe just looking to get to Castle Age first. Anyhow, the Teutons are still trying to make something happen, sending the army forward now. And as I said, those walls, they're kind of like, I don't know. Maybe he's making the opponent believe that he's fully walled, but it's not really doing a whole lot just yet. Oh man. Oh man, he's riding in there now. Let's see if Bent can garrison some villagers and kill those scouts, maybe. Okay, nice. He's getting good shots in from the town center. That's absolutely worth for him. Wow, he's absolutely shredding through that army. That was 1 or 2 hits onto a villager in exchange for the entire army here. The scouts are going down, and those spearmen are also super low on HP. So honestly, man, that was not worthwhile for Quetipps, I don't think. At least he's microing really nicely here to kind of salvage the situation a bit, but now again he's trying. Oh, he's lost the scout too, and the last 2 survivors are these 2 guys. Well, they're not taking out any villagers, are they? They are just gonna get stabbed and punched. Wow. So far the raids from both parties have been quite underwhelming, and honestly, I understand why Quetipps in the previous game didn't go for any raids and straight up went to castle, because if this is how your raids are gonna look, you're better off not investing anything into them. I don't know, I'm being a little bit mean here. Of course, it's all in good fun, but man. Oh, did he garrison them late with the town center? Did he ungarrison them late is what I mean. Could be. The worker efficiency, if you check down here in the last minute, is almost identical though. 67%-ish for both of these players in the last minute. So they have to be pretty even in overall resources. It is the Teutons up to Castle Age first, surprisingly. 10 seconds later, Bent clicks up too. Remember, he's got the cheaper uptimes, or the cheaper cost for advancing, so surprising that he's a little bit late on that. Just shows Quetipps maybe with the little bit better balance in the eco, and as you rightly pointed out, forcing those farm villagers to idle might have also played a smaller role in that. So I think Quetipps is going to be happy with that. He's going to get to Castle Age rather undisturbed. He's also now trying to complete those walls, so they're all still not 100% done with them. I like how he still has that palisade pit here, not even deleting those, or the foundational one. Maybe those come in handy later, who knows? Maybe he can still use that to trap someone at some point. Alright, he's got that wall almost extending to the edge. He has scouted there though, so he knows that he needs to wall a bit more. Yeah, he's trying to do it with houses now. Opponent scout now dips out of there. I was gonna say maybe another pick could come in there. And some upgrades coming in for Bent now. Fast imp versus fast imp, you're suggesting? I don't think so. I don't think they're both gonna go up to imp straight away. I think we haven't really seen that in the tournament and in the series so far. People haven't just gone through to imp really, and it would be a huge surprise to me. I think both of them are looking for some Castle Age play. Knights from the Teutons wouldn't be too surprising for me. And on the other side, oh yeah, it's Knights also for the Italians. Italians going imp. I mean, it looks like the reason why he's got that many on food. I agree, it's a bit confusing, but maybe he just wants to prepare for the town center drops. Right, if he wants to drop 2 more town centers, you need the food economy to back that up and be able to produce villagers. And he was a little bit early on that, is what I would assume. That is not an equal battle. And second town center also going up for the Teutons now. So they're both going to be playing extended Castle Ages. Maybe both of them investing more into food than they would need to. Although I think 17 is kind of the magic number that in most cases I like to go for as well in my mid-game builds. So mainly Italians, just a bit more on food than I would have expected. The night skirmishes start breaking out. So far, Quetipps has been getting the better end of those fights. He's not really paying attention here, but luckily the lion is coming over to help him out. Not in time though, so he's gonna lose a few more units here. Uh-oh, this is not good trading here by him. Losing the spearman too, and another knight running in there. He's gonna get the kill. I think he really needs to get out now though. Oh, you don't like to see this. He's still producing knights, of course, but you can't keep going in one by one. Not the right approach. He's at least trying to make something happen with knights in the north as well. But those are terrible trades at home. It doesn't feel that bad, but he's lost like 5 or 6 knights at this point, I would wager. Don't like to see that. And now he's even lacking wood in order to keep all those farms producing. He's still open at home. I don't think he's realizing it. Oh no, the knights get in. Poor guy here. The Italians suffering huge raids there by those Teutonic Knights, which aren't actually Teutonic Knights. I hate that. I hate that naming system, by the way. That never made sense to me. But either way, sitting on his 2 TCs now, but unable to protect his eco. So it's really bad luck, bad news for him so far. And he's still not closed the hole here. Oh, it's terrible. And he's just calling it right here. Man, he was not ready to deal with those knights riots. It really wasn't his day, I guess. It was a tough matchup against a significantly higher rated opponent. He tried his best, I assume, but it became clear that Quetipps just had the answers to whatever he was doing way quicker than he did, and he got punished really hard for both of those fuck-ups. And I mean, this happens to every one of us, right? Stuff like this, where you've got the house and you think there's no way to get through, but then, yeah, the knights are just in, and they're in en masse, so to speak. Overall, though, not really disciplined walling either, and Quetipps just with a little bit cleaner build. I'm sure Bent expected to be up to Castle Age first, as you usually would as the Italians, but nicely done by his opponent, who actually manages to outspeed him there, and then with the proper knight micro, taking much better trades and snowballing that. So it was a pretty quick series. I'll resolve the prediction. Alright, let's get that result in. Alright. It's cheaper to go up to Imbia Rapdag. It would have been an option, but as you see, if the enemies go in heavy knights like that, you typically can't go just into Imp. So yeah, I see why they didn't do that, and they also didn't have the walls to allow them doing that. But well, favorite takes another series here. It's Quetipps taking a 2-0 over Bent. Congrats to him for advancing, and thanks to Bent for partaking in the event. It was pretty fun to watch, as always. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the recording and the stream here, but I'm going to put it back up immediately and cast one more game from yesterday's series. There was a series yesterday that I only managed to cast one game of, and I'll be casting the other remaining game right now of that series. Or maybe there's 2 more games. I don't actually know even how that series ended, so we'll see about that. So yeah, there's going to be at least 1 more game, at best 2 more games right here, but I'll cut the stream real quick and put it back up immediately.